What do you do when nobody is out there adventuring and selling stuff to your shop? What do you do when your stock runs low? You become the thing you need. You become adventurer. Today, we're going to look at Moonlighter. This is the age-old tale of dungeons magically appearing in the land. People come and try to conquer them. A town sprouts up around the ever-bustling dungeon entrance. Merchants and adventurers alike live together in harmony. Adventurers plunder the depths of the dungeon and sell their gains to the shops. The shops in turn sell their wares to the people of the city and adventurers. But the depths of the dungeon prove to be too great for the simple adventurer, and many stop exploring the dangerous halls, and as a consequence, shops are no longer able to keep stock. You are Will Moonlighter, a shopkeeper, going broke. You've decided in order to keep your shop running, you will don your adventurer's hat by night and try and keep the shop running. Loading into the game for the first time, you will get the backstory, and then thrown straight into the tutorial. Immediately, your Zelda senses will start to tingle. The tutorial teaches you the basics of movement, combat, and the hopelessness of an overcrowded room full of monsters. Then out again and back to your shop for the basics of the shop. This is essentially two games in one. The Zelda-inspired roguelike dungeon game, and I guess I really haven't played any other shopkeeper games before. Let's talk about the dungeon crawl first. There are 4 small dungeon doors, and 1 large dungeon door in the middle. Defeating the dungeon bosses for each of the 4 smaller dungeon doors will open the larger one, or so we're led to believe. I mean, I've never done it before. The interface is clean and simple. Top left, you have the current amount of money in your satchel, then your health. To the right, we have the button map, showing you what each of your buttons do. Dodge and attack, block and heal, and last but most importantly, we have your backpack. And down at the bottom of the screen, you will see your magic pendant. More on all of this a little bit later. The first dungeon here is where we start, the Golem Dungeon. There are some roguelike elements here. Every descent into the dungeon is different. Every room on each floor is randomized within the current dungeon tile set, keeping things fresh for every loot run, and it is a loot run. Different monsters have a chance to drop different items. For example, baby slimes here drop rich jelly. Golem turrets can drop glass lenses, water spheres, or waystones. There are chests and random items scattered around everywhere. Each item you picked up stacks in your backpack in no more than 10. The rarer items only stack in 5. You have 5 pocket slots and 15 backpack slots. Fill up with all the treasures gained from killing monsters and looting chests. But there's a small catch with items found in chests. These items are often more rare, but 9 times out of 10 are cursed. I mean cursed in quotes. They're pretty tame curses. The curses you will find the most are curses that only let you put items into certain parts of your bag. So a curse where you can only have this item in the top or bottom row of your bag, or a curse where you can only have it on the side row. Other curses will have an arrow pointing in a direction. It will destroy that item it's pointing to when you return to town. Some items will be unidentified until you get back to town, even though it's an item that you've seen before. Maybe Will Moonlighter has an incredibly short memory when it comes to certain shapes. So you've got to try and Jenga your backpack with single blocks so that you can get everything out that you want to get out. Your character sheet is located next to your inventory. It displays your currently equipped gear. How many dungeon keys you have acquired sits below that. Your stats are nicely displayed in a nice correlated spiral flip out. I love that the whole menu system is contained within a notebook. You can attack in 4 directions, the cardinal directions, or just up, down, left, right, whatever you feel like calling it. There are a variety of weapons in the game, and each has a normal attack and a special attack or a block. The option is there to carry a melee weapon and a bow into the dungeon, or get crazy and carry 2 melee weapons for versatility? You have a dodge roll that renders you invincible while you are rolling. The same dodge roll allows you to leap small holes or crevasses. Now you cannot fall into a hole unless you really try. Simply walking off doesn't work. You really need to want to go in. Combat feels pretty decent. It feels like they may have drawn a little bit of inspiration from Dark Souls. You cannot do anything when you attack. There's no canceling animations to dodge or move. You must always wait for the animations to finish. This also goes for monsters. They will always do their full attack animation in whatever way they are facing. This is the key to defeating certain enemies. Wait until they're attacking, dodge around, and strike. The 2 dungeons that I've made it into split into 4 floors each, with the last floor having a boss and each floor beforehand having a mini-boss. Sometimes you will get a rare portal room that will transport you to a room of the next dungeon door. There you can get a sneak peek of what lies ahead and take out some rare items. The further down you go, the harder it gets. Die and everything in your bag goes squirting out around your body and you lose it all. You only ever get to keep the stuff in your pockets. That's a good way to save some valuable stuff if things go wrong. So how do you get out? Ha! you have a special amulet that can teleport you out of the dungeon. But be forewarned, leaving the dungeon resets it and you cannot continue from where you left off. Well, at the start anyway. There's an upgrade you can get which allows you to pay cash money to extract and then go back via a portal. It's like a town portal scroll that costs 4,000 gold. Coming back out of the dungeon with your fully legally acquired wares starts the shopping phase. Well, I guess only if you wanted to. The pendant squirts you out of the dungeon beside your shop. How handy. Enter your shop, and it's now time to place your goods for sale. Each item is worth an amount of gold. How much, do you ask? Well, that's for you to find out. You have a notebook that lists every item in the game. They are all undiscovered until you discover them via discovery. At the top, you will see 5 tabs. The first of this is the Weapons and Armors tab, which will show you all the gear that you can find or craft. You can see at the very bottom a gold value. This means that amount of gold is what the cheapest item is worth to most people. Moving up the list, you can see line breaks with gold values all the way up. This helps you guesstimate how much each item is worth. The other 4 tabs contain the items for each of the corresponding dungeon doors. When a customer comes in to browse your items for sale, they will have a gander, and then a ponder, and then they'll give you a face in a bubble telling you how they feel about the price of the item they are currently having a gander at. Mega sad frown means that your item is way too much and they won't buy it. A sad face means that this item is a little bit too costly for their liking, but if they need it, they're gonna buy it. Happy face means that this item is the perfect price. And golden dollar bills means you messed up and this item is on fire sale. Every time you sell an item, your notebook will be updated with the cost that it sold for. It will also record how the customer reacted so you can adjust your prices if need be. There is an economy in this game. The more you flood the market with your tat, the less likely people are going to buy it for the price that you want to sell it for, even if it was a good price before. How nice your shop looks and the customers you sell to will increase the size of the tip that your customers will leave. So sell those items. Every so often, a customer will come in with a request if you have the required shop size unlocked. It's usually to get X amount of notes from a certain monster or to find X amount of an item. They will require these items by a certain day. Checking your notebook, you will see in the very first tab at the top a calendar, which will contain all of your requests and when things are due. Yes, there are day-night cycles in the game. Dungeon runs are more difficult at night, and opening your shop at night will bring more people to request things from you. Hey, stop! Thief! Heading outside your shop into the village, you will see a notice board. This notice board contains all the upgrades for your shop and the town. You can increase the size of your shop, which will allow you to sell more items and store more stuff. It will also allow you to add more decorations to the shop, which will help you get more money. You can upgrade some items within your shop like the bed, which will give you a temporary boost to health at the start of a dungeon. The cash register makes people tip more for some reason. I guess they are impressed with the size of your cash drawer. You can also unlock larger chests, and a sale box will allow you to sell off items faster for a discount. In the town upgrades, you will find all the NPCs you can have move in. The blacksmith, Andre, will make armor and weapons depending on if you have the required materials and gold. You can add items to your favorites list, and it will put a star on every crafting material you will need. That way you don't go and sell all those stacks of ancient wood you need for the bow. The second tab in your journal contains your wish list. I was constantly selling things that needed upgrade gear. There are so many items in the game that it's very hard to keep track of what you need. The witch heiress brews potions out of things to restore your health. She can also enchant your armor and weapons to add different effects or simply just to make them better. Julian is another shop owner. His prices are outrageous and far more than yours. But if you're in a pinch and you need something for an upgrade, you can just go to him instead of trying to find it in a dungeon. Then there's Alan the Hawker. He has a little pushcart by the fountains and will sell you decorations for your shop that have a variety of effects on your customers. Some items like the lava clock increase the time you can stay open for. The golem crystals are a nice addition and make your customers feel obligated to tip you an extra 20% more. You can make your shop so nice that people will pay 100% in tips. I learned very quickly that upgrades are key. Just one weapon upgrade can make the world of difference. Everything you upgrade or make costs more and more and more and more. Some of the weapons and armor that I'm trying to make in my playthrough are costing me $250,000 in gold. Every time I go down in the dungeon, I always go with the intent to go deep. But I always fill up on items that I need, or rare items, and I find myself coming back out on like floor 3. It's a tough decision. Keep going and risk losing it all, or get out with my loot. Ah! All of the games that I've reviewed so far have great sound design, and this one is no exception. Great sound effects and the whole visual design of the game is amazing. The pixel art graphic style and all the animations have so many frames. Everything is smooth and the controls are very tight. Moonlighter was created by the good folks at Digital Sun Games, based in Spain. For such a large studio, they really don't have any other games other than Moonlighter and its DLC, Between Dimensions. Most of the crew have a whole host of their own games that they have created. It's quite an impressive ensemble of indie devs and artists. Moonlighter was released May 29th, 2018, and it's available for PC, Mac, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and both mobile platforms. And now, you know what Moonlighter is. Let's take a look at the options menu. Under the game options, we have a whole host of languages and screen shake. Variety of screen shake options, 10% to 100%, amazing. Vibration for your controller, on or off, text speed if you need to read faster, and you can change your difficulty on the fly, which is very nice. Graphics options, resolutions all the way up to 4K, full screen on or off, no windowed full screen, which is kind of a shame, and vertical sync on or off. Not a lot of graphics options, but it is a 2D pixel art game. I don't really think it needs that many. Sound options, we have music and sound and GUI volume. You can turn them off individually here, and dialogue on or off. Would have been nice to have a master slider, but what can you do? And under the controls, fully rebindable controller and keyboard. Always nice to have. Huh, strange. Another game with roguelike elements. No Metroidvania this time, however. I mean, I'm sure the next one's going to have that, right? Leave a comment down below and let me know what games you want me to look at. Don't forget to subscribe. Or, something like that. Huge thanks to my Patreons who get to watch this early and for all the support, of course.